Here we go for box one, pack one. For this bad boy right here, out of this pack, this is box one. Our very first spin for one of these On It Arkansas player cards. Good luck. Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome. It is Thursday. We're going to discuss Arkansas and Alabama. We're going to a little more reacting to what happened yesterday with Arkansas beating Texas. Again, I really hope notifications go out. Won't shock me if they don't, but please make sure to help a guy out. Like, share, hit the subscribe button, all the fun stuff. Make sure you have the notification bell clicked. I have also heard notification bell is also still not sending out noties. They're not sending out the noties. Don't know why. Whatever. You know what? We're here, and by God, we're just gonna do our thing. That's what we're gonna do here. Arkansas with a very nice win again on the road in a tough SEC environment, made it happen. And then of course we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna get an Bama at Arkansas, number 3 Alabama Crimson Tide. Coming into Bud Walton, 7:30. It was a 7 p.m. tip-off. It got pushed back to 7:30 p.m., unfortunately. Is what it is, right? But it need a big crowd, for sure. Need a big crowd on Saturday. That's what the Razorbacks need. If they want to have a shot at winning this thing, the crowd's got to be in it. Got to be the sixth man. And let Alabama feel at home, right? All right, again, make sure you like, share, subscribe. We do have a poll up, Arkansas or Alabama, who you got winning Saturday. Right now, 83% of you you're going with Arkansas. Unsurprisingly, going with Arkansas. So, yeah, man. We did have our first card, our On It pack winner. Now, you saw the video. If you're just now coming in and you missed it, John Hawes won the very first pack, the On It pack. So he's already sent me his address, so I'll get that. We'll get this sent to him. So, yeah, congrats to John Hawes, the very first Patreon winner. And we still got to do our card giveaway later today as well. That'll be later today, something I'll do well after this live show. So, again, if you guys have any questions or comments, please feel free to fire away. I don't know. I mean, yeah. All right. Wow. We have an interesting matchup tonight. Well, first, let's talk really quick about our Patreon, our sponsors, Direct Service Overhead, the Garage Door Company. Same-day services, quality parts, affordable outcomes, better than best results, right? 24/7, 365 days a year, free estimates. Man, they kind of do it all. And they have a ton of 5-star reviews, man, a ton. 501-244-3667. Nobody does it better than Direct Service Overhead, the Garage Door Company. Okay, we have an interesting matchup tonight. really fast, I wanted to get into this just really quick. This bad boy right here. Maryland at Ohio State. -2 in the spread for Ohio State. Interesting matchup here. So use your promo code, all caps Tusk. Come be a part of it. Maybe lay down a bet. This is peer-to-peer sports betting. This whole website, it's national, coast to coast, border to border. But these guys that developed this site, that came up with this peer-to-peer site or peer-to-peer sports betting site, are from right out of our own backyard right here in Fayetteville, Arkansas. So go check out BroThrow. Do a little peer-to-peer sports betting. Maybe you and your boys want to lay down some bets. Right here's where you go. And check this game out. -2 for Ohio State. Interesting matchup right here. So just something to keep an eye on. Something to keep an eye on. Boy, how about last night?
Thero at the blow-by. Whoa! He cocked it all the way back.
You've got to be kidding me. Well, Thero says chances of blocking this, 0.
Wow. What a momentum changer, too. Like, Texas clawed their way back. They clawed their way back into that game last night and started to make it, like, it wasn't ever super easy for them. Obviously, they had to have a lot of help from the officiating. The officials absolutely got them back in this game. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But also, I think Arkansas was doing a lot of scoreboard watching. Like we talked about last night in the postgame, a lot of scoreboard watching. If you haven't watched that postgame, go watch it. Really, really fun stuff last night. It's always fun after a win. Go catch it if you haven't already. And make sure you share that too. Share the link. Share all the links because sharing is caring. But Texas clawed their way back. Clawed their way back in. The coffee's not agreeing with me this morning. A little 7 Brew shout out right there. Doing a little 7 Brewski. Texas had to have – they couldn't waste any offensive possessions. And when it seemed like they were going on a scoring run or they were getting so many shots at the free throw line at the charity stripe, Arkansas found a way to just like bounce back. They found a way to just go score points, to figure it out on the offensive end of the floor. That's something we have not seen consistently this year, and yet we've now seen this in 3 of their last 4 games. Played not great against Oklahoma. I do think Arkansas is better than Oklahoma. I don't give a damn about records. I think Arkansas is better than Oklahoma. Should have won that game. A lot of things wrong with that game, and Arkansas found a way to screw around and lose it. We're having a completely different conversation had they won that game, because then it's like, yeah, the buy-in is 100% since the Georgia matchup, because now you're on this win streak, and you still, don't get me wrong, you're absolutely having the conversation about how Arkansas's turned things around after beating Kentucky on the road and now Texas. So but I'm saying, imagine if you hadn't dropped that game against Oklahoma. The narrative around Arkansas basketball would be even greater, I think. I mean, Oklahoma, who's a good team, they're good enough that right now they're looked at as a really strong March. A team that could be a problem in March. I don't know that I'm buying that necessarily. We'll see. Still just was not a good loss, I don't think, for Arkansas. I don't know. Thero could do things normal humans can't. Yeah, he's a hell of an athlete. Pigpen, what's going on, man? Bama going to put out 3-point defense to the test. Oh, put our 3-point defense to the test. Yeah, they take a lot of shots. I think they're a sub 35% shooting squad outside, but they are absolutely capable. Okay, they are. I mean, they're a better version of what Kentucky wants to be, and they've won some tough games on the road. They've certainly done it on neutral floors and at home. This is a huge game. I don't have to tell you guys that. Now, I'll say this: LSU has the potential to be a disaster. If you beat Alabama and somehow screw around and lose to LSU at home, That's a rough loss, and it almost feels like it offsets the Alabama win a little bit. If you could beat them, right? If you could beat Alabama. I don't know that, you guys right now, 75% of you who are taking the poll believe that Arkansas can win this game. By the way, only 16 votes, and there's more than double of you in here on that. So take the poll. Takes you a second. Just scroll down to the chat. The poll will come up, and take that poll. But 75% of you right now believe Arkansas is going to win the game. I don't know that I'm with you or not. I mean, I know my pick, but I think there's certainly a little bit of room for scrutiny. Hunter Julius Trum says, told you them Hogs was going to get it straightened out. Okay. Hunter, that's the first time I've ever seen your name here, so listen, the Captain Hindsighters, if you're going to be Mr. Captain Hindsight, you got to be someone who I remember having a back and forth with. I don't remember having a back and maybe I did read your comment before. I don't recall you. I've never seen you in my chat before. But okay. Are you going to be one of those guys, Hunter? Are you going to be a Captain Hindsighter? Don't be that guy. We could beat anyone. Got to make free throws in this one to win, says Bot Magnet. By the way, today's live this will not be an hour live. If I can help it, I'm going to try and keep this under 40 minutes. So this will not be a real long live stream. I'm hungry, and I've got a ton of things I got to get done today. This will be the last live, obviously, before the post-game show for Arkansas and Alabama. Arkansas moved up 3 spots, number 47 and to number 44 in the net ranking. Not going to lie to you, I kind of thought they would get bumped into the top 40 in the net. I think they should, especially with how much respect the SEC's been given this year. Whether or not they're going to be able to – and this is the shitty part for the SEC. Like, you've got this many teams, you probably will send at minimum 9 teams. How many of those 9 are going to get the opportunity to go to advance? How many teams can the SEC get into the Sweet 16? Because eventually, if you send a whole bunch of teams out of this conference deep into the tournament, they're going to start playing each other if they can make it to the Sweet 8 and obviously the Final Four. But I wonder how many teams. It's all about, to me, it's like how many teams, a true test of what a conference is, in my opinion, the way it ought to be measured. It's not only non-conference through November and December, and then, of course, you've always got the SEC, whatever, ACC matchup before you had the SEC Big 12 matchups. No, you need to combine them all. And even on that, when you're looking at that, the SEC clearly looks like the best conference in college basketball. But then the other test is how many teams can you advance? How many teams are legitimate threats to the Sweet 16, to the Elite 8, and to the Final Four? That's what the SEC needs to do this year, because while it feels great what this conference is doing, it's like, all right, now it's put up or shut up. It's like how I think bowl games used to be looked at. Now they're not because of all the opt-outs and the transfer portal. I take the bowl games, when you're talking about conference respect, I take it with a grain of salt. You just can't take it serious anymore. When you've got star quarterbacks that are, moving on to the pros, or star players that are, just all these studs opting out, these potential first, second, and third round players that are opting out. And then you've got the portal, which hopefully comes to a close. Sounds like that could be coming to a close sooner than later. You can't measure SEC or conference. You can't measure conferences by postseason play anymore in football. But in basketball and baseball, you absolutely can. It's not just because of, in SEC baseball, it's not just because of how well you recruit, what you do in non-conference play during the regular season. It's about how many teams are hosting regionals, super regionals, and how many teams your conference is sending to Omaha. And what's the bare minimum for the SEC? 4 or 5 teams? I mean, it's absurd. So the same thing should be said for SEC basketball. If you want more respect, because there's still plenty of other teams in other conferences, I say other teams, fan bases and media outlets that are saying the same. Like, look, okay, great. They're good during the regular season. Let's see them put a stamp on the postseason play. So Alabama, who you've got coming into town, we know what they're capable of. We saw what they did last year. We've seen what they could do this year. Nate Oates, what is he in his 6th season? Is that right? 7th season? How long has he been at Alabama? It feels like It doesn't feel like as long as it has been, but it's longer. It's longer than I thought. I think his first year was 2019, was it not? Was his first year at Alabama? But since he's been there, I mean, he's turned Alabama around. Alabama's going to be the team that you're playing on Saturday is a team that could absolutely make a run for sure in the NCAA tournament. So again, I am a little bit surprised that Arkansas did not move into the top 40. I don't think they moved up enough in the net rankings. I realize it matters what teams around you do and whatnot, but still, two back-to-back road wins in conference play, tough environments, good teams, high caliber teams. I don't care what Kentucky's going through right now. You know, I don't care. Like that was a hostile environment. Not only that, their net ranking was super high. And they did get a jump after that, but now, like, you've had this against Texas. I just felt like they should be at least 40th or 39th, somewhere in there. But whatever, it doesn't matter. Win this game Saturday, and who gives a damn, right? Win this game on Saturday, you're going to be in the top 40 in the net. All right, Ty, what have you noticed about Arkansas lately? What have you noticed about Arkansas lately? That was a DM that I got on Facebook, and it's a great question. Here's something that I have noticed out of Cal in this offense. Since Boogie Fland has been sidelined, we're seeing way more set plays being ran out of the half court. Way more off-ball movement. Way more set plays being ran, I feel like. Obviously, you're not running the pick and rolls as much to obviously because Boogie's out, right? You're not running those to him because he's not on the floor. No Boogie means other players getting more opportunities on offense. It's allowing them to settle in. They love the pick and roll to Boogie. There's no doubt. You watch enough of Arkansas basketball this year, that's what they love to do, the pick and roll. Not as many backdoor cuts. You know, you're seeing a little bit more aggressive post play, I feel like. It's about other guys finding their rhythm. I'm not saying Boogie was a ball hog. Maybe some of you can, and he was a good facilitator. You don't average north of 4 assists per game. What was he at? Almost 6 assists per game? And I realized he was getting a lot of minutes, but you don't get that by only being a ball hog. But it felt like everything had to be run through him, including him with the ball and shooting the ball. Running those pick and rolls. So other players are figuring it out, and they're getting red hot. Nelly Davis, DJ Wagner, right? Adu Thero is still Adu Thero. This is a major problem for the rest of the league. This thin but crazy talented Arkansas roster is showing exactly what they're capable of, which is winning anywhere against anybody. This is a problem for the SEC. This short-handed roster that's got a little bit of length and a whole lot of athleticism. They've got like 3 guys right now, in the last 4 games, even including an Arkansas loss to Oklahoma. Even including that game. There's still like 4 guys that are capable of being a problem on the offensive end of the floor. That's something we haven't seen enough of, where like it was just maybe 1 or 2 guys. Now you're starting to see that entire, like that rotation. You can see guys come off the bench and do some things. Not so much on offense, but definitely on the defensive end of things. When you look at Brazil's capable of a couple blocks, a couple steals, and 4 to 6 points. That's what he is capable of. In fact, I think he's capable of a lot more on the offensive end. That's, to me, kind of the thing, like, I hope they get figured out. And Jonas Adu. They got to figure out Adu's role. I don't know what it is right now. He's also a shot. He can alter shots with his length, right? He's a capable box-out guy, but he's not someone that I'm real confident in when he's on the floor, you know, especially on offense. So, again, this team is a threat to anybody, anywhere. The way they have played, especially these last 2 games, they could beat anybody in the country. Outside of maybe at Auburn or like at Duke. Maybe besides those 2. And you could throw in a couple more. But in the SEC, outside of Auburn And hell, I think they could go toe-to-toe with Auburn on a neutral floor or at home. On the road, that's going to be a really tough environment. But so that includes Alabama. Continue playing at this level with this intensity, with this kind of execution. Cal, outside of media timeouts or timeouts, this guy, I loved how that's all we were told by Kentucky fans when, the narrative, we've talked about this, the narrative just kept changing. It was, well, you're going to make it to March, but have fun being a one and done, right? This guy can't coach to save his life. And yet he's probably, I have seen some of the best out of timeout drawn up set plays that I have ever seen since maybe Muss, when he was really, that 21, 22 season, 23, where he was, not a great out of timeout offense, but a pretty good one. Like Cal is on another level. Cal's drawing up plays. They're running more set plays, at least from my perspective. And again, it's causing everyone else around them. Like everyone now is finding their role, something they could not do with Boogie Flan playing the point. Just an observation. We got a super chat here. $20 from Will. Wow, let's go. Never doubted Nelly one bit. See what you did there. DJ locking up Sears, says Mellow 501. Man, could you imagine? It's going to be an interesting battle with Sears, isn't it? Let's look at these last 3 games. This is a Wagner Nelly Davis thing that has just showed up, and it's really starting to, you could see it. Arkansas versus Oklahoma. Wagner, 5 assists, 2 turnovers. Nelly, 5 of 16, 18 points. He's not really hot outside, but he does get 9 points outside. You're fine with him you want him to get around, 4 or 5 threes a game, right? He came close to that. I think had he made a couple more, you win that game. My God, 1 or 2 better offensive possessions, you win the game against Oklahoma. That to me is just going to be it's going to be one of those that it seems like no matter if Arkansas and Oklahoma, doesn't matter who's better or worse, Oklahoma just always finds a way to win that game, and it pisses me off. Arkansas at Kentucky. Wagner, 8 assists, just 1 turnover. Nelly shoots 50%, 7 of 14, 18 points, 3 of 6 outside. So that's back-to-back 9-point games by Nelly from the outside. He's 50% this time instead of shooting 3 of 11, whatever that percentage is. But he shoots 50% against Kentucky from both on the floor and outside. Arkansas at Texas. Wagner, 4 assists, 3 turnovers. Nelly, 7 of 15, 24 points. Now he's knocking down. He's getting the 4th 3. He was 4 of 8. Once again, 50%. Back-to-back 50% performances outside by Nelly. There's a really interesting combo. There's something with Wagner and Nelly when they're doing their things, which is, buying in and playing into their role. And then you've got a Duthero doing his thing. You can get a couple quick possessions from maybe Knox, who's not as potent but can be, right? Brazil off the bench can get you a quick 2 or 4 points with a block, a couple of rebounds, and then he's done. Jonas, his stat line usually is 0-0-0, maybe 1 rebound, 4 fouls, 3 fouls, and he's done. Jonas might be the key to unlocking this team's full potential. I mean, he really might be. You've got to have him going. I think if you get to March, if you get to the NCAA tournament, Jonas has got to figure this thing out. Because it adds a whole different level to what you can do if you could get even just 15 quality minutes out of that guy. All caps Mello says, I told y'all when Nelly went 1 for 10 from 3, he was unlocked from that day forward. Boy, a lot of Captain Hindsighters in here today, huh? Adu looks absolutely terrible. It's kind of like what we talked about with Nelly. If Nelly finds his place, if he can knock down 3 or 4 threes, if he's shooting like 40% overall, and he can get to the free throw line, maybe he could be a problem. And we're starting to see that part of his game develop. But he's starting to get into that rhythm, right? Arkansas against Oklahoma. Or excuse me, this is Georgia. Sorry, against Georgia. 6 assists, 10 turnovers. You were -4. That was an ugly win. And then you have 9 turnovers, 10 assists. You're +1, and you find a way to lose that game. John L. Davis, that's when he goes 3 of 9, or he goes 3 of 11, 5 of 16, 18 points. He also had 4 steals. He is handsy on defense. Do you guys watch him on defense? He might get blown by, but it's rare. He is really good in transition on defense where he's real sneaky with his hands. And all of a sudden you look up and it's halfway through the first half and he's got 2 steals and like 4 points and somehow he's got like 2 or 3 rebounds. Like, what the hell? Of course, that was the game. He only had 3 boards, but still. 5 of 16 is a lot of attempts to get to 18 points. That is a lot. I don't know that I'm cool with 3 of 11, but by God, since then, he's been on fire. Kentucky, 17 assists as a team. Again, we're talking about as a team. 17 assists to 7 turnovers. I mean, +10. That's a winning combination. Again, could have beaten Kentucky by 15 or more points. Could have done it. Nelly, 18 points. Much better numbers from Nelly. 50% from the floor. We already pointed this out. 50% from the floor. 50% at outside, which is outstanding. 3 of 6. You love it. 18 points. He's the second leading scorer of that game, just behind Adu Thero, who could just do his own thing. Again, you've got like 2 guys that are capable. Hear me out when I say this. I'm not saying they are this guy, but they have 2 guys on this roster right now who are potential J.D. Note level rim drivers. Guys that could just find a lane, cut through it, and get to the rim. Draw fouls. They've got like 2 guys that are potential, that are so high in caliber of play and potential that they are near that level of play. They very well could. And Wagner, oh my God, I mean, he's just automatic. He's automatic to the left. He is really turning it on. 17 points against Kentucky, 8 assists. The man almost had a double-double with points and assists. And then you go to Texas. Wagner doesn't have near the output in terms of, like he's got 3 turnovers, but he's got 4 assists, 13 points, 3 boards. Again, my only gripe with this game was just how badly they were on the offensive boards. I mean, they got clobbered on the offensive boards, but they do end up shooting 44% across the board. Well, you know, outside and overall shooting. 7 of 17 you're going to live with. You are definitely going to live with 27 of 35 free throw shooting, right? You're going to live with that. That's 77%. On the road, absolutely. Again, I want Jonas Adu. The guy got 4 minutes. I'm wrong. He did have 2 points and just 1 foul, 1 assist. No, he didn't rack up the fouls, but 0-0-0-1-1 was his stat line. He has got to become a guy that you can rely on getting 15 quality minutes out of, and then maybe beyond that, if he catches fire, maybe even just from a rim protection standpoint. You've got to get, like, Big Z has got to have someone to lean on and absorb those minutes. He played 35 minutes. Big Z, your 7-footer, 35 minutes. Nearly had a double-double, 12 points, 9 boards. Or excuse me, 12 backwards. That was backwards. 12 boards and 9 points, but he did also have 4 blocks. So Alabama, what is so special about these guys? Again, it's across the board on offense. Just an outstanding offensive basketball team. And this is like what Kentucky wants to be right now is what Alabama is. It is absolutely what Alabama is. They average 30 three-point shots per game, and they're making close to 34% of those. And again, they're averaging 90%. This is a top 2, top 3 caliber offensive basketball team when compared to the rest of the country. The best SEC offense. This is the biggest game Bud Walton's going to host all year. They are offensive rebound machines. This is like the number 2 or number 3 offensive rebounding team in the conference. 14 offensive boards per game. They average nearly 31 defensive boards, almost 45 total rebounds per game. 17 assists, 5 blocks, 6 steals. They kind of do a little bit of all of it. Almost 48% field goal shooting team. They're just outstanding on offense. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. For anyone who's kind of like, what the hell's going on here? That's what. Mark Sears is for real. 18 points, 3 boards, 5 assists, a steal. He's 36% outside. And then, he's like 83% at the free throw line. Grant Nelson is a problem on the boards. This is a guy that could quickly get, a couple offensive boards and like 7 or 8 rebounds in the first half. Like Grant Nelson is a problem. He's averaging 8 boards, almost 2 assists, 1 block a game, almost 13 points. Holloway, this is a fantastic offensive team, and they could do it by just more than one guy. Grant Nelson can all of a sudden, you could look up, and this is a guy that can have 16, 18, 20 points. But you're going to have to figure out how to limit what Bama does. You're going to have to limit what they do so well. He had 20 points against Georgia. 6 assists. Nelson against Kentucky had 25 points. I think Sears' season high was against A&M when he had 27. This is going to be tough. This is not going to be like Kentucky. They are led. There's a couple of leaders on this floor for Alabama. This could be a problem. I'm not telling you to be fearful. I'm not saying that Arkansas can't handle this game, but this is not going to be like what you think where, Arkansas is going to just keep doing what they've been doing. Now, offensively, this could be a high-scoring game. I would be shocked if this game was under like 150 over-under. It's crazy. What's up, Unbiased Bram? Hope you're doing well, man. A win Saturday might set us up for a major run. My next point. Because if you're capable of beating Alabama anywhere, obviously at home, that's like a gift of 12 points. Inside Bud Walton, that's like 14 points, right? If you beat Alabama at home, you just went on the road and you won in 2 hostile environments. You should have beaten Oklahoma. Horrible play, and you still were in that game and only lost by 3. You beat Bama, you damn sure should be capable of beating LSU at home. Getting a little revenge. You guys know how I am about these revenge games. This is a revenge game when it comes to LSU. Better spank that Tiger ass on the 12th. And then you're set up for another huge game at Texas A&M on the 15th. Now, I don't know about a winning run necessarily because at A&M, that's a tough place to play at Auburn, but this could be a major swing for Arkansas. Buy-in is a real thing. Momentum is a real thing, and you have it right now. Use it to go win, to beat Alabama, get a nice little win streak going, and then let's see what they do. And you're supposed to take this a game at a time, but let's be real. Like, by God, if you get swept by LSU, come on, dude. They're not good. And the fact that Arkansas went on the road when they were playing not great basketball and they still only lost that game by 4 points, that's a game you'd like to have back. Just like the Oklahoma game. But yeah, this could set you up for a nice little 4-game win streak. You're back in the conversation of being a tournament lock, no matter what happens in College Station. But then you got to turn around and you got to play at Auburn. So this is why it's so hard in the SEC to get a good long win streak going. Only the great teams right now are capable of doing that. Everyone else, you're grabbing at a couple of wins here. You might lose one, then maybe you win one, then you lose one, then maybe you win a couple more. Like, that's kind of how it is for the rest of the SEC outside of, obviously Auburn and maybe Florida, Auburn, and Alabama. That's kind of reserved for them. Maybe Tennessee too. Well, they got to figure things out on offense. I don't know how. Again, that's a Tennessee team that's going to really rely. I think they're going to rely on matchups in the tournament. I really do. The more I watch them. So you guys tell me, who do you like? Take the poll. Arkansas or Alabama, who you got winning? 72% of you say Arkansas. Transplanted Texan says Hogs playing well in electric environments. They are. They're not afraid of the spotlight, and I'm loving it. Hog fans need to show up energized on Wednesday, and Hunter Yurchek needs to make single-game ticket purchases a thing next season. Unbiased Brim says the reason I have optimism because we play good defense overall. It will keep us in games. Yeah. I mean, their defense is essentially, look at Texas. They weren't beating you on the floor outside of some cuts to the rim. Outside of, Z kind of he got caught a couple times watching, and that has been a problem of his at times this year. Overall, though, he's been pretty solid around the post defensively. But like outside of that, Arkansas's defense kept that Texas resurgence, if you will, on offense limited. What helped Texas was those bullshit calls. Oh, my God. In the second half. But Arkansas got a lot of those in the first half, so we can't act like we can't be too upset. We're going to humble Nate. We're going to humble Nate's ass for sure, says Mellow501. All right. Who do I got winning? Ty, just tell us, who do you like here? Alabama, again, this is what Kentucky, what they wanted to be is what Alabama is. What they thought the level they were playing at, and of course they've had injuries and things that have really slowed them down. This is Alabama. Like, this is a really good team that's walked into some hostile environments this year and found ways to win. They went into Columbia. Say what you want about South Carolina, how garbage they are. Look at the teams they've either taken to overtime or have taken the final few possessions to beat. Like, they stomped South Carolina by 20 points. They went to A&M and won 94-88, a game they controlled a lot of. They beat North Carolina on the road. Now, Carolina's not the same, but still, they've won away from home. They've been in hostile environments. They beat Houston in overtime. Like, this is a really, really good offensive team. They, too, I think, struggle on defense. I have watched them play a little bit. They're capable. Like, this could be a game where someone like Wagner, and obviously a BroThrow, but you could say that about every matchup. But these are games I feel like those guys might have a shot here at taking advantage of the fact that Arkansas is figuring out how to play better team ball, and other guys with the balls in their hands, they're not juggling balls out there. You know what I'm saying? They're out there playing. This could be a game where someone just completely goes off. Alabama has given those up. Where they get caught in ISO ball and all of a sudden they're just getting mopped. Someone's driving to the rim or they get hot outside. They struggle. You could stretch Alabama out a little bit defensively if you get hot from the corners. This is a team where if you could continue this offensive trend, you could go toe-to-toe and then maybe beat them. It's going to be a tough one. I really like Alabama. I'm just going to have to say it. I think I'm going to have to go. I'm going to go with Arkansas. I'm going with the Hogs, baby. They're playing red hot. They're good on both ends of the floor. They're playing fantastic perimeter defense. They're guarding the perimeter, the post better. They're blocking shots. They're making threes. Nelly's caught fire. DJ Wagner is point guard god right now. This guy's assist to turnover ratio in the last few games has been insane. They are playing so far above where they were just a week and a half ago. They have flipped the switch since February. I'm bought in. Now, I'm like 0 for 2 in the last games picking Arkansas because I picked against them. I'm not picking against them inside Bud Walton Arena. I'm not doing that. Bud Walton's going to be the sixth man. It's going to be old school, like when Musselman got that crowd going. That's what I hope they bring on Saturday night. And if they do, this is going to be a nightmare scenario for Alabama. Give me the Hogs by single digits. Give me the Hogs. That's who I'm taking in this game. You guys enjoy the rest of your week. I will see you on Saturday night for the postgame, for the best damn postgame show around. No matter if you're watching or listening, whatever, tune it in right here to the postgame. I'm excited. You guys should be too. I will see you on Saturday night. Enjoy the rest of your week. Go Hogs, baby. Woo pig!
BroThrow at the blow-by. Whoa! He cocked it all the way back.
You've got to be kidding me. Well, BroThrow says chances of